I have come to reclaim what was stolen. I humbly ask you to return the light to me, and I will offer my heart to the ocean. Your heart, with its selflessness and courage, will be the light the ocean needs. The curse shall be lifted. The small town of Willoridge, humbly nestled by the sea, feels like a world apart, where time seems to stand still. Surrounded by gentle hills and sprawling ancient oak trees, this town has long been the cradle of mystical tales. Villagers often gather around the fire, listening to elders recount legends of the sea god, the guardian deity who has kept this region peaceful for centuries. They speak of enchanting but cursed mermaids, and restless ocean spirits forever seeking redemption. But tonight, the moon appears brighter than usual, and the sea whispers haunting melodies. The tranquil atmosphere is disturbed by an eerie energy. Willoridge is about to witness a story no longer confined to imagination. A story where truth is more terrifying than legend. She, the girl who had once been turned into a fish by jealousy and cruelty, has emerged on the shore with eyes radiant, yet heavy with sorrow. Amara has returned, not just in human form, but carrying profound secrets from the ocean depths. Secrets that could forever alter Willoridge's fate. When the villagers heard the news, they flocked to the shore to witness it firsthand. They were both astonished and frightened by Amara's presence. To them, she was not just a miraculous survivor, but also the embodiment of both magic and a curse. In Amara's eyes, there was a mysterious light that drew people in, while simultaneously making them hesitant to approach. However, not everyone welcomed her return. Selena, her treacherous stepmother, and Nyla, her younger sister torn between guilt and loyalty, saw Amara's presence as a threat. Selena sat in the dimly lit house, her cold eyes fixed on Amara's distant figure. "She's back," Selena whispered, her voice sharp as a blade. "But this time, she won't escape." Nyla stood beside her, trembling all over. She dared not meet her mother's gaze, for each time she did, she felt as if she were complicit in the crimes Selena had committed. But Nyla's fear wasn't enough to erase the growing guilt within her heart. "What should we do?" Nyla asked, her voice barely audible, like a breeze slipping through a crack in the door. Selena turned to her, her eyes gleaming with malice. "We must protect what's ours. Amara must not be allowed to take everything I've worked so hard for." Selena began scheming. She knew Amara was no longer the weak girl she once was. After enduring suffering and transformation, Amara had become stronger, with a mysterious power even Selena couldn't comprehend. But Selena was not one to be easily defeated. She sought out a mysterious figure, a person rumoured to have connections with entities from the ocean's depths. A sea witch, living in seclusion near the cliffs. "What do you want?" the woman asked, her voice echoing like waves crashing on rocks. "I want to destroy her," Selena replied without hesitation. "Do you know what you're up against?" the sea witch asked, her eyes glowing like stars in the night. "Amara is not just an ordinary person. She carries a part of the ocean within her, a power you cannot fathom." "I don't care," Selena responded. "I want her gone forever." The sea witch smiled coldly. "You will pay a steep price. The ocean never gives without taking something in return," Selena agreed, unfazed by the warning. She received a black pearl, an object crafted by the sea witch from the deepest darkness of the ocean. This pearl carried a curse strong enough to drain Amara's life force. Meanwhile, Amara began sensing something unusual. She heard whispers from the deep, voices only she could understand. At times in her dreams, she saw herself drifting through an endless ocean, surrounded by strange creatures and faint lights. "Something is happening," Amara told the prince. The prince, always by her side, remained steadfast. "Whatever happens, I will be here to protect you," he said, his eyes full of determination. But Amara knew this battle was not hers alone. It was a fight between light and darkness, love and jealousy, life and death. Selena was ready to strike her final blow. Yet she didn't realize the ocean never sides with those consumed by ambition and malice. As the black pearl began to take effect, something extraordinary happened. the sea suddenly grew violent, and from its depths a colossal figure emerged, the sea god, with eyes as bright as lightning. "You have awakened me," the sea god said, his voice rumbling like thunder. "Do you think you can wield the ocean's power against itself?" Selena froze, unable to believe what she was witnessing, but it was too late. The sea god's power began to envelop her, reclaiming what she had taken. Under the radiant moonlight, Amara faced Selena one last time. "You cannot win, Selena," she said, her voice steady and fearless. "You can try to destroy me, but you will never possess the power of love and truth." And with one final wave, the ocean engulfed Selena, taking her away forever. But the story wasn't over. Amara realized the power within her wasn't just to protect herself, but also to safeguard Willow Ridge from the dangers the ocean still harbored. The sea god's message echoed in her mind: "Use my power wisely. The ocean will always watch over you." Under the silver moonlight shimmering on the water's surface, the waves seemed to whisper secrets from the ocean's depths. Willow Ridge, a peaceful town, was hiding a dark conspiracy. Selena, the cunning stepmother, remained consumed by envy over Amara, the girl who had returned after a harrowing curse. Selena couldn't bear to see Amara, the one she had tried to eliminate, become the center of love and admiration. With every smile Amara received, every look of reverence from the villagers, and the prince's sincere affection, Selena's jealousy grew, festering into an uncontrollable obsession. One night, her eyes blazing with fury, Selena decided she needed power beyond human reach, a force strong enough to extinguish Amara's light forever. Dressed in a black cloak blending into the shadows, Selena traversed narrow paths leading to treacherous cliffs. There, under the ancient oaks and the howling winds like ominous warnings, lived a mysterious woman the villagers called the Seakeeper. The Seakeeper, living in solitude in a small hut roofed with dried seaweed, was rumored to have the ability to commune with the sea god, a mythical entity that governed the ocean's power and spirits. Villagers avoided this place, fearing the tales of dark magic and the grim fates of those who dared defy the sea. Selena knocked on the door. A voice echoed from within, deep and resonant like waves crashing against the cliffs. "What do you seek from the ocean?" The door creaked open, revealing a woman with hair flowing like seaweed and deep eyes glowing with an eerie, oceanic hue. Selena, trying to maintain her composure, felt her legs trembling, but her hatred outweighed her fear. "I seek power," Selena said firmly. "I need to make Amara disappear forever." The Seakeeper smiled faintly, a chilling and enigmatic expression. "You do not know what you are up against. Amara is no mere girl. She is part of the ocean protected by the sea god. But..." Her voice dropped, becoming menacing. "If you are willing to pay the price, I can help you." Selena didn't hesitate. "I am ready to pay as long as she vanishes from my life." The Seakeeper turned and walked deeper into the dimly lit hut, where the air was thick with the scent of salt and seaweed. When she returned, she held a large black pearl, its surface gleaming with a midnight luster. "This is the Black Pearl," the Seakeeper said, her voice echoing. "It contains the ocean's darkest power. Place it near Amara's heart. It will drain her strength and light, leaving her a shadow of herself." Selena's eyes lit up with anticipation as she gazed at the pearl. "So it will all end?" The Seakeeper nodded, but her gaze turned grave. "Remember this, Selena. The ocean never gives without taking something in return. If you lose control of the curse, it will turn on you." Selena dismissed the warning. To her, the price of hatred was never too high. She took the pearl and vanished into the night, leaving the Seakeeper watching her departure with eyes that seemed to foresee the future. Back in her home, Selena wasted no time. She crafted an ornate necklace, setting the black pearl at its center. Its elegant appearance masked the dark curse within, making it impossible for anyone to suspect its true nature. At the prince's celebration to honor Amara, Selena appeared with an unexpected air of sweetness and a facade of genuine regret. Approaching Amara, her eyes filled with feigned tears. "Amara, I know I've wronged you," Selena said, her voice trembling. "But please allow me to make amends. This is my family's heirloom, a symbol of reverence. I want to give it to you as a sincere apology." With her pure heart, Amara hesitated but couldn't refuse the gesture. She accepted the necklace, unaware that the curse had already begun. The moment Amara put on the necklace, a strange sensation enveloped her. She felt weak, the light in her eyes dimmed, her laughter grew faint, and her steps became heavy. The prince, ever attentive to Amara, immediately sensed something was wrong. "Amara, are you all right?" he asked, his eyes filled with concern. Amara shook her head. "I don't know. Something feels off." Nyla, who witnessed everything, could no longer bear it. That night, she sneaked into Amara's room and confessed the truth. "Sister Amara," she said, her voice choked with tears, "the necklace, it's cursed. I'm so sorry. Mother forced me to help." Amara looked at Nyla, not with anger, but with profound disappointment and sadness. "We have to break this curse," she said. Amara and Nyla sought out the Seakeeper, hoping she could help. When the Seakeeper saw Amara, she paused for a moment. "You carry a light that darkness can never fully extinguish," she said. The Seakeeper explained that to break the curse, Amara must face the sea god and prove the purity of her heart. This would require not just courage, but also a sacrifice. On a moonlit night, under the ocean's glowing reflection, Amara waded into the icy water to confront the sea god. When the colossal figure of the sea god appeared, all of Willow Ridge seemed to hold its breath. "Do you dare challenge my power?" the sea god asked, his voice thunderous. "No," Amara replied, her voice steady. "I have come to reclaim what was stolen. I ask you to restore my light, and in return, I will give my heart to the ocean." The sea god was moved by her words. "Your heart, with its selflessness and bravery, will be the light the ocean needs. The curse will be lifted." The black pearl dissolved, and Amara regained her strength and radiance, becoming an eternal symbol of love and resilience. Under the dark sky, only the faint moonlight reflected on the still ocean. Gentle breezes carried the salty scent of the sea like whispers from afar. Amara and the prince stood together on the soft white sand, where the waves gently caressed the shore, creating a soothing melody. The prince, his eyes filled with love, gently clasped Amara's hands, his gaze speaking volumes. "Amara," he murmured, his voice warm and laced with urgency. "I don't just love you for what you've endured, but for your strong heart. Let me protect you and build a peaceful kingdom with you." Amara looked into his eyes, her deep gaze full of gratitude, but beyond her light smile, a shadow of worry flickered. "I love you," she replied, her voice as gentle as the waves. "But the darkness Selena has sown still lingers. I can't forget what happened. If I can't protect myself, how can I protect your kingdom?" The prince was about to respond, but before he could speak, a strange sound interrupted them. From a distance, a large wave suddenly rose, breaking the calm of the cove. Unusual sounds echoed, not the ordinary crash of waves but singing that seemed to come from the ocean's deepest depths. The hauntingly beautiful melody was irresistible, like an otherworldly call. Amara felt an unmistakable connection. Her heart raced as though being guided by an invisible force. "Do you hear that?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity and unease. The prince furrowed his brow. "I only hear the waves. But why does it trouble you, Amara?" She didn't answer. A chill ran down her spine as if the call was meant solely for her. Amara turned, stepping slowly toward the water's edge. The waves seemed to welcome her, silently wrapping around her small feet. "Amara!" the prince called out, rushing after her. "Don't go too far!" But Amara didn't hear him. She stood still, listening intently to the call of the sea, feeling as though she were in a trance. Suddenly, a colossal figure emerged from the water, shimmering under the moonlight. It was a being half human, half fish, with flowing hair like seaweed and glowing eyes like pearls. "Who are you?" Amara asked, her voice trembling but resolute. The creature spoke, its voice resonating like the waves. "I am the ocean's messenger, guardian of the sea's deepest secrets. Amara, your soul has been tied to the ocean for a long time, but darkness still surrounds you. If you do not face your destiny, everything you hold dear will be swept away." The prince, standing behind Amara, placed a hand on her shoulder, trying to reassure her. "We don't need to listen to this creature. I will protect you, Amara." But Amara shook her head. "No, I need to know the truth. Tell me, what must I do?" The messenger moved closer, its gaze stern. "To dispel the darkness, you must confront it. Selena is not only a threat to you, but to the ocean as well. The black pearl she holds is the key to the curse. To save yourself and those you love, you must retrieve the pearl and return it to its rightful place, the abyssal depths." Returning from the cove, Amara immediately sought out Nyla. With determination in her eyes, she looked directly at her younger sister. "Nyla, you once sided with our mother, but now you have the chance to make things right. Are you willing to help me?" Nyla, haunted by guilt over her past, nodded. "I'm ready. I'll do whatever it takes to atone for my mistakes." The two began planning. Meanwhile, Selena, unaware that her scheme was unraveling, sat in her darkened room, fiddling with the black pearl and smiling wickedly at the thought of Amara growing weaker. But one bright moonlit night, as Selena slept, Amara and Nyla sneaked into her room. Moving quietly, they approached the dressing table where the pearl was kept. "Hurry, Nyla," Amara whispered, her hands trembling as she reached for the pearl's box. Just then, Selena awoke. "Did you think you could defeat me so easily?" she shouted, her eyes wild with madness. Selena lunged forward, the pearl in hand, ready to use it against Amara once more. But Amara, with Nyla's help, bravely stood her ground. "You've done enough, Mother!" Nyla yelled. "I'm no longer afraid of you. Amara doesn't deserve this, and neither do I." Selena, enraged, began to lose control. The black pearl in her hand glowed ominously, its light growing stronger by the second. Suddenly, the ground shook, and from the shadows, the ocean's messenger appeared. "Selena!" the messenger's voice boomed. "You have abused the ocean's power. Now you must pay the price." The pearl's light engulfed Selena, dragging her into the depths, where eternal darkness awaited. Amara, standing there, gasped for breath. She looked at Nyla, and the two embraced tightly. In the dim light of the oil lamps, their flickering glow casting shadows on the bamboo walls, Amara sat in the small hut of Elder Adana. The silence was so profound that she could hear her own heartbeat pounding in her chest. Before her, Elder Adana, the oldest woman in the village with sharp eyes and deep wisdom, studied her intently, as though seeing into the depths of her soul. "I feel a connection to the sea," Amara said, her voice trembling but resolute. "I don't understand why, but it feels like it's a part of me, something I can't deny." Elder Adana nodded slowly, her frail hands clasped together. "You are not like others, Amara," she began, her voice warm and steady like the rhythm of the waves. "Your blood is not solely human. It carries a fragment of the sea god, the deity who has ruled these waters since the dawn of time." Amara's eyes widened in disbelief. "The sea god?" she gasped. "I'm just an ordinary girl. How can that be possible?" Elder Adana sighed, her gaze heavy with the weight of untold stories. "That is why you did not perish in the river that day. But Amara, you must understand that this connection is not just a gift. It is a curse. The sea has chosen you, and that means if you do not uncover its secrets, the sea itself will destroy you." Elder Adana's words struck Amara like a thunderclap. "But how can I uncover this secret?" Elder Adana rose slowly, walking over to an old shelf. From it, she retrieved a thick book with a worn fabric cover. Flipping to a particular page, she pointed to an ancient illustration of a woman standing by the shore, holding a glowing pearl. "This is your answer," Elder Adana explained. The ocean pearl, the heart of the sea god. You must find it, return it to its rightful place, and face your destiny. If you don't, the sea will never let you go. Determination filled Amara's heart as she left Elder Adana's hut. She knew she could no longer avoid the truth. The path to the river where Selena had once tried to destroy her now seemed cold and foreboding. Each of her steps echoed in the stillness of the night. When she reached the riverbank, Amara felt a chilling sensation run down her spine. The water sparkled under the moonlight but carried an ominous aura, as though guarding a great secret. Amara stood still for a moment, closing her eyes to listen to the call deep within. She heard the gentle sound of waves lapping, but amidst it, a voice whispered, a voice not of this world. Amara, the voice murmured, lingering like a cold breeze. She opened her eyes, sensing a strange force guiding her toward the water. Without hesitation, Amara stepped into the river, allowing the icy water to embrace her feet. As the water reached her knees, a strong gust of wind swept through, causing the river to ripple violently. From its center, a radiant light burst forth. Amara stood firm, unafraid. From within the light, a figure emerged, a woman with flowing hair like seaweed, luminous eyes like pearls, and a body that was part human, part fish. I am the spirit of the sea god, the being said, her voice resonating like the waves. You have been chosen by the sea, Amara. Your blood carries a fragment of me, and now you must fulfill your destiny. Amara took a deep breath, steadying herself. What is my destiny? She asked, her voice firm. The ocean pearl was stolen long ago. It holds the power to protect the sea, but now it lies in the hands of an evil being. If it is not reclaimed, the sea will rise in anger and consume everything you hold dear. Amara nodded, her heart brimming with resolve. I will do whatever it takes to protect the sea and those I love. But where do I begin? The spirit of the sea god extended her hand, and a brilliant blue light illuminated the space between them. Within the light, an image formed. Selena, clutching the black pearl she had obtained from the sea witch. Amara returned to the village with newfound clarity, her eyes glowing with purpose. She was no longer the timid girl she once was. She was now a warrior, blessed and protected by the sea. She sought out Nyla, who remained shrouded in fear and guilt. Nyla, this is your chance to make things right, Amara said, her voice a blend of firmness and compassion. You must help me retrieve the pearl, not just for me, but for yourself. Tears streaming down her face, Nyla nodded. I'll do whatever it takes to make amends. The two sisters began devising a plan. Meanwhile, Selena, oblivious to their intentions, sat in her dark chamber, cradling the black pearl with a sinister grin as she imagined Amara's growing weakness. But on a moonlit night, while Selena slept, Amara and Nyla crept into her room. Quietly, they approached the dresser where the pearl was kept. Hurry, Nyla, Amara whispered, her hands trembling as she reached for the box. At that moment, Selena woke with a start. Did you think you could defeat me so easily? She snarled, her eyes alight with madness. Lunging forward with the pearl in hand, she prepared to unleash its curse once again. But Amara, with Nyla's support, stood resolute. Enough, mother! Nyla shouted. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Amara doesn't deserve this, and neither do I. Selena, consumed by rage, began to lose control. The black pearl in her hand shone with an eerie light, growing more intense by the second. Suddenly the ground trembled, and from the shadows emerged the spirit of the sea god. Selena, the spirit's voice boomed. You have abused the sea's power. Now you must face the consequences. The pearl's light enveloped Selena, dragging her into the depths where eternal darkness awaited. Amara, gasping for air, turned to Nyla, who knelt on the sand, tears glistening in the moonlight. You saved me, Nyla, Amara said softly. Not just with your actions, but with your courage and love. Nyla nodded, her voice trembling. I owe you everything, sister. I'll spend the rest of my life making it right. Under the night sky, the moonlight illuminated each wave crashing against the towering cliffs. Amara, with her strength waning and heart pounding with anxiety, took slow steps along the gravel path leading to the seakeeper's dwelling. Neela walked beside her, her trembling hands betraying not just fear, but deep remorse. "We can do this," Nyla said, trying to instill confidence in both of them, yet her voice still carried traces of uncertainty. As they approached the cliffs, a cold wind blew from the ocean, as if the sea itself was testing their resolve. From the shadows, the seakeeper emerged, a faint silhouette with deep eyes that seemed to peer into the secrets of the world. "You have come to me," she said, her voice resonant like waves crashing against the rocks. "But remember, every answer to a mystery comes at a cost. Amara, you have been pushed to the edge. Now, there is only one path to breaking the curse." Amara stood tall, her eyes no longer filled with fear, but with determination. "Tell me what I must do," Amara demanded, her voice cutting through the night like a challenge to the heavens. The seakeeper nodded, her gaze softening. "To break the curse, you must face the sea god himself, the entity that granted you this power. But remember, the sea god is not just a judge. He is also the protector of the ocean. You must prove yourself worthy of redemption." Nyla, standing quietly beside her, couldn't suppress her worry. What if she fails? Will the sea god... The seakeeper interrupted, her voice commanding and firm. "If she fails, the sea will reclaim what is its own, and Amara will never return." Under the seakeeper's guidance, Amara stepped to the water's edge. Waves crashed against her feet, cold as ice, but she did not falter. "Amara, don't be afraid," Nyla called after her, tears streaming down her face. "I believe in you." As Amara waded deeper into the water, the sea became turbulent. Waves swirled violently, and the night sky was shrouded in dark clouds. From the heart of the ocean, a colossal figure rose, the sea god. The sea god's eyes gleamed like stars, his hair cascading like waterfalls, and his voice thundered like a storm. His entire form appeared to be composed of seawater, emanating a radiant blue glow. "Who are you?" the sea god asked, his voice echoing. "To demand the return of power from the ocean. Do you even know to whom this power once belonged?" Amara knelt, unwavering before the towering figure, her voice steady and firm. "I am Amara," she said, her eyes resolute. "I do not seek to reclaim this power to destroy, but to protect those I love. If necessary, I am willing to sacrifice everything to keep them safe." The sea god remained silent, his glowing eyes scrutinizing every word she spoke. "You say you are willing to sacrifice everything," he replied. "Then prove it. You will enter the deepest depths of the ocean, where darkness reigns. If your heart is truly pure and untainted by fear, you will return. But if you cannot overcome, the sea will keep you forever." Amara nodded without hesitation. "I will do it." The sea god raised his hand and a shimmering blue path appeared, leading into the abyss of the ocean. Neela cried out from the shore, "You don't have to do this. There must be another way." Amara turned back, a gentle smile on her lips. "Sometimes, to protect what we love, we must face our greatest fears. Don't worry, I will return." She stepped onto the glowing path. With every step, she felt the weight of the ocean and the loneliness enveloping her. But she kept going. From the darkness, voices began to whisper, haunting and relentless. "You are unworthy. You will fail." Amara closed her eyes, her heart filled with images of Nyla, the prince and the villagers who had always supported her. "I am not fighting for myself," she whispered. "I am fighting for them." Suddenly, a radiant blue light enveloped Amara, and a warm sensation spread through her body. The voices vanished, and she realized she had overcome the darkness. The sea god appeared again, his gaze filled with acknowledgement. "Amara, you have proven your courage and love. You are not only worthy of the ocean's power, but also of a bright future. A brilliant light radiated from the sea god, breaking the curse and restoring Amara's strength and true freedom. Amara returned to the shore where Nyla waited with tearful eyes. She embraced her sister, and neither spoke a word. From afar, the seakeeper nodded, a faint smile gracing her lips. "She has done it," the keeper said, her voice filled with pride. Under the dim moonlight stretching across the sea, Amara returned to the coastal village, no longer the timid girl crushed by jealousy and deceit. Now she walked with strength and pride, carrying the light of love, courage, and the profound lessons the ocean had etched into her heart. But darkness does not disappear so easily. Selena, the stepmother consumed by envy, refused to accept defeat. In a final desperate attempt, she summoned all the power of the black pearl she had once used to harm Amara. With eyes burning with hatred, Selena stormed into the sea, invoking the destructive forces of the ocean's depths. "You took everything from me, Amara!" Selena screamed in a fit of madness. "If I cannot win, then you will not find happiness either!" But Selena failed to realize that the ocean, like life itself, does not forgive those who harbor selfishness and malice. The waves rose high, churning as if to swallow everything in their path. In her rage, Selena was drawn into an inescapable whirlpool. Her screams faded into the deafening roar of the waves, leaving behind a tranquil shore as if the ocean had reclaimed its due. The next morning, under a radiant sunrise, Amara and the prince stood hand in hand. The villagers gathered in great numbers, bringing fresh flowers and heartfelt blessings. The wedding took place by the shore, the very spot that had witnessed Amara's most harrowing trials. Ancient melodies filled the air, blending with the sound of waves to create a dreamlike atmosphere. "Amara," the prince said, his eyes filled with admiration, "you are not just the love of my life, but also the light that illuminates every dark corner of my existence. From now on, we will write this story together, not just for ourselves, but for the entire kingdom." Amara smiled, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I once thought I couldn't overcome the darkness, but thanks to you and everyone's faith, I now understand that love and courage can dispel all sorrow." Amara's story is not just one of love or sacrifice. It is a powerful reminder of the inner strength each person carries within themselves. The ocean, a symbol of life, can be gentle, yet turbulent, much like the challenges we must face. Only by embracing and overcoming them can we truly find ourselves. The love between Amara and the prince is a testament that no matter how many hardships one endures, truth and loyalty will always prevail. Selena, with all her schemes and hatred, serves as a lesson about the consequences of envy and selfishness. And Nyla, the younger sister once manipulated by her mother, teaches us that redemption and change are always possible. Amara's journey of overcoming darkness to find the light is far from over. Do you believe the ocean, with all its mysteries, has truly closed this chapter? What challenges do you think await Amara in the future? Would you like us to continue her story? Share your thoughts in the comments and share this story with your friends and family in the United States. Don't forget to subscribe to African Tales Best to never miss more inspiring, mysterious, and thrilling stories. Join us as we uncover the valuable lessons hidden in each tale, where darkness is always dispelled by the light of courage and love.